Hello, Von Fry here, the scorned critic of YouTube, but the #1 commentator. What I do is I provide commentary tracks for the streaming movies. You know, you miss that feature on the DVDs and the Blu-ray, and that's really kind of what I give you over here. Today, we're watching the movie that's got everything Uncle John needs, Predator, from 1987, starring Arnold Schwarzenegger, Carl Weathers, and a whole bunch of manly dudes. I'm going to be filling in with a whole lot of tidbits, notes, impressions of how I feel. I don't mean necessarily Arnold Schwarzenegger impressions, but that could possibly happen. But first, let's kind of get our reads out of the way, plug some things, maybe even throw in a YouTube ad break, because we're going to have to go through the, hour, 46-minute show without any kind of ad break. So let's do this Rogan style and get that stuff out of the way. I want to tell you, when it comes to eating, we all do it. Yeah? Why not do it in style with Knork flatware? That's KNORK.net. Yeah, that's their website. Now I have to wonder if I spelled that right or not. I'm going to put it up on the screen. Use my promo code FRY45 for 45% off Knork flatware. What's Knork flatware? Imagine a knife-fork combination with a beveled edge, not serrated. You can easily rock chunks of meat to cut it up. Yeah, you want to slice things with your fork? You don't want to hurt your finger in the process, right? Well, with the Knork, you have a finger platform. It's all thought out, beautiful stuff, stainless steel, titanium, whatever you want. You can get an old school brass looking finish as well. So that's Knork.net, Fry45 at checkout. All right, I guess we're kind of ready to go here. So here's the thing. Now I'm watching this on Starz. They throw in a promo at the front of everything you try to stream. It's a pain. Then you have to try to go to 000000, and there's going to be a Starz thing after that, okay? Yeah, we're going to try watching this on Starz. You're going to see their little thing about viewer discretion advised, all that. It's not going to be strictly DVD view, but yeah, you could be a few seconds off if you're trying to watch this on another service. Anyways, you're at 000000. You hit play now. See, I warned you, the stars, right? Fun fact, when Netflix streaming started, this was like 2008, everything was on there from Starz. They were really the chief supplier, and from my understanding of it as it be, I don't know who owns Starz necessarily. It could be Sony, because it seems like they're really in bed with Sony. I'm going to really miss this 20th Century Fox marquee at the start here. By the way, I'm cracking open a Mountain Dew. Saw these in the stores the other day, not Mountain Dew, but the fact that it is a Mountain Dew Real Sugar. That's Mountain Dew Throwback, as it was called. Now it has more of that 90s-like can, but with the sort of, how would you call it, metallic finish about it. Ah, yes, Predator in big white letters. Man, I just really miss the way fonts appeared on screen. The old way of doing titles where you had to print them out, you had to put them on the glass and shoot them, had a special quality about it. A lot of people bemoan this front scene here, the spaceship going by. It was added much later in the production because test screenings decided it was confusing as to what was hunting them, or what were the real going-ons in the jungle. Because as soon as you see the heat signature vision of the Predator, it's really quite jarring. There was nothing else leading up to that. Frankly, this being one of my favorite movies, I have very little to complain about, and I would not complain about the Thing-style intro at the front there. I think it's perfectly suitable. Now we're coming into a situation with the humans. This guy here, man, I forgot his name. He died, I'm thinking not all that long ago. He was nearly 100 years old. He was had a role in Stay Hungry opposite Arnold Schwarzenegger. We're going to see just a cadre of badasses pile out of this chopper. Yeah, there's Carl Weathers. Just, everybody's huge. There's two normal size guys in the whole unit. Jesse Ventura, 6'5". Sonny Landham, 6'4". Bill Duke, 6'4". Carl Weathers, probably 6'2". Arnold Schwarzenegger, 6'2". This guy, I believe, was actually Marine. Okay, now watch over here. Who is that? Who is that in the greenish tank top? Could that be Jean-Claude Van Damme? No one else is willing to speak up, and I believe that is actually Jean-Claude Van Damme. Why? Because Jean-Claude Van Damme was the Predator. He was in the suit in the jungle for a hot minute. They decided it looked too goofy. I think part of the reason why it was decided it was too goofy, and also he had some complications, like you never get to see my face, huh? I'm just like a stunt double. I'm a mascot, right? Part of the issue here is that when they're looking at the dailies and they're looking at how goofy it looked, were the people calling the shots on this, were they privy to the idea that this was supposed to be an all orange suit so that it could be made invisible in post? Or were they laughing at the way it looked in that regard? Because I have to wonder now what the end game non-cloaked version of that Predator looks like. For those of you who don't know the story, you can find footage up on the YouTube. Predator was they got Van Damme in the suit. It's all orange. It's a different type of design, maybe a little bit more insect-like, instead of the finalized Rastafarian warrior. Oh man, I could quote just about every line in this movie. I like the casual attire these guys come in with. Arnold's got the polo. I think out in battle, doesn't Sonny Landham wear an MTV shirt? These guys make up their own rules. I would say that if I'm complaining about the movie, I have some issues with the subplot that drives them into the action here. We got a cabinet minister always traveling the wrong side of the border, right? Oh, yeah, everything's got to get interrupted here. We're going to have the most masculine handshake ever. Of course, years after you and your boys on the playground speak of it, now everybody has to mention it. It's kind of been overdone in its references in other places. Recently saw this done up in Guacamelee 2. It says playing on Xbox Game Pass. Make it easy on yourself, Dutch. Yeah, you do that. Okay. You don't get a good look at Carl Weathers' arm there because the showpiece is the bicep of Arnold Schwarzenegger. No stunt double needed. I'm going to open up a Larissa's Kitchen Korean barbecue snack. Not sponsored. If you bring this up to them, they can't yank the sponsorship. There's no complaints here. Just a nice little meat snack. It's not quite a jerky. He talks about how he has a rescue team. He's a major, and I don't like this idea of them calling him Dutch Schaefer canonically. Based on video games, the Alien vs. Predator games. Oh, well, there's a Dutch character, and it's like Arnold's character from Predator, but he's half cyborg. His name is just Dutch. That's all we're going with, as far as I'm concerned. That's all you get in this one movie. General, my team always works alone. You got all these shots you get to call. It's so informal. Or is he mercenaries? Or rescue team? We're not mercenaries. So you can hire like the A team of rescue teams to go into the jungle and do stuff. We're just going to fade over to the chopper here. Well, these guys are doing a lot of swooping around, and you're going to have guys really overly chill inside these choppers. In fact, aren't they really all in one chopper, or am I mistaken? Do we need two choppers? I mean, look, you got Bill Duke shaving his face in a choppy chopper ride. By the way, no one in the military actually calls this a chopper. I think it's a helo. There's Shane Black in the glasses. He did some script punching up. And since he was on set, they thought, well, you're going to be there anyways. May as well put you in the film, I guess. According to Carl Weathers, this movie was like in production in some way, like the script was being kicked around before Rocky. So they really got to this one late. Speaking of being not quite punctual, the last act of the movie where it's Arnold versus Predator. Yeah, you should have seen this movie before you listened to the commentary. Last bit of the movie, Arnold vs. Predator, shot like a good 6 months after everything else was wrapped. So much of this is actually shot in sequence. Yeah, we're telling some jokes here. It's remarkable how well this movie ages. Okay, there's some scenes where it looks grainier than a movie today. I got you. A lot of the stuff they use fits in well, because what do guys walking around in the jungle with big guns look like still? They largely look like this. Guns ain't changed a whole lot. Jungle still looks like jungle. Trees didn't just all turn purple. Oh, you got to tell those are 1987 trees because they're green. Something about a cigarette lighter. I don't know what the deal is here, but I mean, you see Jesse Ventura, he spits the chew on Carl Weathers. Now, in many movies, you'd think, oh, there's going to be some fighting here. But no, it's like, this is a big dude. I'm going to let him do that. I think these meat snacks are causing too much of a distraction here. Seal that up. Arnold Schwarzenegger has a plethora of hand gestures. We got like this, get it together. He's got the stop, 5 meter spread. We move, right? I think it's really we move 5 meter spread. That's what he says. Pretty sure they all jump out of the same chopper. Okay, so they got one just running a machine gun for him, just in case. I mean, I guess I kind of think you could do it one chopper though, but whatever. It looks cooler to have two choppers sliding around through the jungle, I suppose. Oh, look how quickly it gets to be daytime when they land. This is quite an arduous shoot here. Unlevel surfaces abound. You got to go handheld for so many shots. No telling what you're going to come across. And I think they actually shot this close to where it would take place. Now look at the way how you got that mist coming in the jungle there. Yeah, it looks so cool. Shane Black recently revisited the Predator franchise, making The Predator. I have not seen it. I believe it streams exclusively on HBO Max for the moment, along with Alien Covenant. I have to wonder if the whole Alien franchise is over there. Why is this stuff got to be split up? Come on, Fox. You're owned by Disney now. You can put all this stuff on Hulu. Avoid the adult stuff being on Disney Plus. Just put the grown-up movies that Disney owns the rights to on Hulu Plus. There, I solved it for you. So we're led to believe that this team came in earlier to get these cabinet minister guys. That's the story cooked up anyways. Their chopper's taken down, and they found themselves in a very similar situation that Dutch's team will find themselves in. And there's a firefight shooting all directions. Yep. Chopper crash victim right there. Looked like he was a ginger. So this helicopter is shot down with human ordnance. And it's like, these guerrilla guys walking around with this stuff. And the twist, if you want to call it that, or really the turning point for Dylan, is that he lied to these guys. There's not much in the way of rescuing. Yeah, maybe there were some Americans from that chopper that were then captured, and that's who we see executed at the camp. But he's sending these guys in there to go get, you would think papers from the way he's like, oh yeah, this is beautiful, we really got him now. And he's just looking at papers, like, what, are these guys keeping some organization over the, like, guns they're running through the jungle? Now, you'd think if you did this movie now, there'd have to be a girl doing some badass stuff. Oh, and they tried. Predators. Was that 2010, I believe? Yeah, I did a review of that when it was new. Didn't think too highly of it. Followed by American Equipment. You remember Afghanistan? Trying to forget. Yeah. And, there's like a trope about it in the military or paramilitary based movies where someone mentions a location like, oh yeah, we're gonna do a Afghanistan, we're gonna do a Libya, something like that. Don't tell me about Cairo. So this is Sonny Landham, adult film star, and I think he was running for governor in Utah, and though he didn't succeed, Arnold Schwarzenegger and Jesse Ventura did. Now, you could say, oh, this is the movie where everybody's a governor. Well, Arnold and Jesse are also in The Running Man, so one could make the case for that as well. And if I'm not mistaken, wasn't The Running Man out before this? Sonny Landham has the almost tropish-like activity of being the Native American tracker. But you see, he chops the branch, so it's like, okay, so he's the survivalist. Like, he knows, okay, so there's water runoff in that, I can drink it, okay, right. And he's going to give him a spiel about, all this. They went 6 men, army boots, like, oh, good grief, like, yeah, I mean, you really got some good detail out of jungle tracks. Get out of here, vultures. No vultures were harmed in the making of this movie. I can't vouch for that, but we'll see. Oh man, you know how to sling a dog tag with a machete, my boy. Yeah, I like the way how Arnold, he says something like, I knew these men. This man, or is it this man? It's kind of weird how it comes. I knew these men. What are they doing here? I don't know, Judge. Alright, so you're fighting somebody who likes to skin people and hang them up. Look how quick this movie has gotten off the ground with its whole agenda and its goal. Now these guys, they're going to need to get some payback, aren't they? Picking up the shells. Shooting all directions. Can't believe Jim Hopper would be ambushed. I don't believe he did. Can't find a single track. Because what they're shooting walks around in the trees. Just disappeared. We move, 5-meter spread, no sound. Yeah. Time to let Old Painless out of the bag. Jesse Ventura will be the first person on screen to use the minigun. Arnold Schwarzenegger is not the second to use the minigun in Terminator 2 because Bill Duke picks it up and uses it here. So he is therefore the first person of color to use a minigun on screen. Historic first. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I don't like the idea of this. Everything has to be historic when it isn't. If you're the first human to do something, okay, sure. Now, if it was decided upon some committee that thought for PR we can decide to have all women go on a spacewalk, that I'm sorry, that doesn't really strike me as a historic first. Oh, here we are with the first heat vision shot. I think this would have been really jarring for an audience, a test screening, without the concept of understanding what the movie was about, if you weren't even told the title. Something watching you? Do you feel like there's a sixth sense in being able to tell when you're being watched? You kind of know if somebody's watching you. You end up turning around and looking at them, right? Now this really confuses me right here because you're ghosting us. And I don't understand what that means. Does that mean you're going to get us killed and we become ghosts? You're leaving a trail? I think ghosting has taken on some kind of new meaning with social media talk. Like ignoring, maybe. I'm not even sure what it means in that context. All right, sweeping around. I'm just going to put my hand back here. You take my gun and know that I want the binoculars. That's how long we've been doing this together. You know what I want. They come across as a unit. Let's crawl in the grass. Assume there are no snakes. What do we got down here? We've got a truck working. The truck's kind of running as like a generator or a water pump. These guys don't look too imposing. What do we got here? See, I'm thinking this is not one of the alleged cabinet minister guys, but someone from the chopper. Well, don't look like we're going to be doing a lot of rescuing now, does it? Alan Silvestri really hits a home run with the score. It's amazing how much humor you can find in this movie without it seeming over the top, gimmicky, in some way inflated with sound effects or done in a way that takes you out of the seriousness of the tone of the film. the 80s and 90s action movies really had a way about this that I don't think we can duplicate today. I'll be getting to it later, but I just got done watching Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. And there were, towards the end of the movie, I'm like, okay, so this is kind of keeping itself serious. Okay. Then there's a fight at the end of the movie, and we have a whole lot of Evil Dead moments with girls springing up, holding knives, and it's like, ka-ching! Like, the knife's not moving. We have to get a sound effect, really? Always seems like it's Bill Duke working the traps in this. That must be his role. Mac, right? One down. I've got the little binoculars. Now I'd have to wonder if you stab somebody, you got to make sure that the mouth is covered up so they don't scream, right? It's gonna be tricky. Look at the way how they finesse themselves into this situation. Got all these guards on the lookout, and then Arnold's like, screw that. I've got a chance here to show off the muscles. You know what? I'm going to show off my strength while wearing long sleeves and like a jacket. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. Okay, well, it's not a jacket, but it's a shirt thick enough it's close to it. I'm just going to put some explosives in here and hope nobody notices until it's too late. Just take out everybody in their little makeshift mess hall. Glorious actual gasoline flame explosions in this movie, guys. You know they didn't have the technology to cheat that. There were no CGI flames in movies until 1991's Backdraft. Some of these guys don't look all that Hispanic to me. You kind of run across some of that in Commando too, where it's like, could they get enough Hispanic guys? No, so what are they going to do? Kind of tan up some white guys for Arnold to dispatch? In that movie, he kills 81 Hispanics. That was by my count. I turned that in for a thesis paper on, I think it was a class where it was about film theory and gender and minority representation and stuff. And it was really weird because that's a movie where Arnold Schwarzenegger, your like ubermensch white guy, has a very mixed background love interest of sorts in Ray Don Chong. No kissing. Never happens. But then if you look at the rest of Arnold's filmography, especially in the 80s, Conan the Barbarian aside, like he's got a white girl, white interest there, right? The rest of the time, it's not. Ray Don Chong, Maria Conchita Alonso, Running Man. I like this shot here. That had to be pretty deep water to be sending those guys in. And Alipedia Carlito, I think's her name here. They don't have a love interest thing. There's a mutual respect deal about it. In this movie, it's not a love story, but it's not a white girl. And I think that's really quite unusual out of a Hollywood film. And we know how things ended with Arnold. The Latina's really hot, right? All right, the two weenie guys, you guys go do your thing. Yeah, just a lot of it's not B-roll, but a second unit going to work on this. This is directed by John McTiernan, and you don't see a lot of the hallmarks of his style of action with a lot of camera movement and rack focus. You see that in the more static jungle dialogue intense shots. I like this. Boom, stick around. There is that cheesy sound effect in there, but it tells you the machete penetrated and stuck to the wood. There was movement there. It didn't make a metal sound from just picking up the machete. So I'm totally okay with that. A little bit of confusion about how this goes down here, but it's like these two guys run away. They're on the ground. Next thing you know, Blaine and Hawkins are saying they're dug in like Alabama Tick up high. Like, huh? What? Yeah, it's the one girl on the scene. Just hit her and knock her out, right? Everybody else, murder. Oh, you can tell a Central American, can you, Mac? Bill Duke was not really an actor until Commando so much. He had directed an episode of Dallas, I believe, and he was like a filmmaker. I think he did like writing, TV directing things. And then in Commando, I've seen him in A Menace to Society. And I think there was a TV show or two where I saw he's part of a regular cast, short-lived shows. I ain't got time to bleed. Yeah, so many quotable lines, but then he's like, huh? Okay. You got time to duck? What does he do? Super macho guy, no time to bleed? Yeah, he ducks. Carl Weathers talking out loud. Huh? We're thinking out loud, I guess, right? Oh, yeah, we really got the bastard now. We got him. Mm-hmm. This is what you're looking for. You set us up. I like to quote that line. No one does it. Everybody's get to the chopper. I woke up, right? He's going to get to that part. Because you're the best. He was skinned alive. Drop the 6 of us in the meat grinder. Oh, yeah. You don't hear a lot of praise for Arnold Schwarzenegger's acting and from anybody. And I think that a lot of people mix up Arnold Schwarzenegger's acting with other people in a way. Who can you put in this situation who is able to act with a stern face and their eyes? There's shock and their surprise, but at the same time, machismo about it. And when you see him as the Terminator, all those movies trying to knock off the Terminator, right? Everybody does an awful cyborg, android, AI, whatever. Just make your call. I'm going to light this up. She's your baggage. You're on your own. Okay, I guess I can deal with that. I mean, there's a couple of guys here who speak the language of the area. I don't expect these guys to know every language. I mean, they're operating all over the world, right? Remember Afghanistan? Look at that shot there. That was so difficult to pull off, the way you had to try to follow Arnold up and turn. I think some modern digital stabilization would help in some way, but yeah, I don't mind it. Man, but before this movie, did anyone did the average moviegoer know of a way to see heat signatures? By the way, Dylan does not have a scorpion on his back prior to Blaine picking it off. Look at that. No scorpion. Walks over here. Sorry, I keep calling him Blaine. Turn around. Why? Just looks up in the air like there's something he needs to look at. Stabs the scorpion. Authentic scorpion was harmed in the making of this movie. Anytime. The Predator is picking up lines to use later in the movie. You know, he's turning on his learning chip. He's going to acquire Sonny Landham's laugh right here. So he has modified the punchline to his joke earlier, and now it's going to work. Predator's like, oh, maybe I can use this stuff to communicate with them. Or taunt. I'm sensing something. Is there a character in this movie who does not have a quotable line? Think about that. Comment below if there's a character who does not have a quotable line. I'll even take, I can make it. Let's see. Olivia Carlito, she has, Anna? She's got a line or two where she's giving her little soliloquy. I think that works. Does Carl Weathers have a line? That's a tough call. I woke up. Maybe. Make it easy on yourself, Dutch. Over here. Yeah, pig. The Predator likes to play with his recordings. You know, it's a scientific expedition he's on. Let's see, what's this thing on the ground over here? Let me ask you this. Would a scorpion have a heat signature? Oh, now we're getting a slow reveal to the creature here. Like this is not a human hand. What's going on? We'll be further teased about the Predator's appearance for quite a bit longer, actually. Dun 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 dun. Man, the score just dun 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 dun. The horns, everything works. At the time of this movie, it was derided as a Aliens clone, or okay, it's Arnold Schwarzenegger getting in on Aliens. When this comes out and you view both Aliens and Predator, there's not really a relation between the two, both 20th Century Fox. They'll be tied together later in Predator 2, showing sort of a shared universe, but I think this stands pretty well with Aliens, honestly. And it's a different story. There's a certain element to this being this Boy Scout thing. We have to use men in the wild, nature, the traps. It's all this macho-ness. That's an element that Aliens doesn't have. Granted, where it lacks that aspect, Aliens makes up for it in other ways. There's a very strong maternal message to Aliens. Seen some badass movies before, but nothing like this. Let's name drop some more locations we've been. Cambodia, right? I wonder what the relationship is between Blaine and Mac, because Mac sure does take his passing bad. And he said he was my friend. And then, I mean, it's a bro bond that you had in the 80s, playing with the boys, right? But not a love interest thing. Falling some leaves. Yeah. Agent Man. You'd almost think that was like his name is Dylan Mann, like Mann. He's saying Agent Man, like Secret Agent Man. There's a good deal of this movie where it looks so clean, I feel, but not in the unrealistically clean way of so many current movies, where with digital technology they've stripped away the realness of the world when they film stuff, I feel like. He's spooked. It's cool how I mean, Billy can kind of sense the predator. He's the tracking expert. Oh, there we go. We're making the fist. Everybody stop. All right. Fist explodes. Spread out. Is that what that is? Talk to me, Goose. Talk to me. Oh, it's his nose that allows him to track? Another opportunity to make an escape. Does she know where she's going? Is she going to be able to cut the zip ties? Were the zip tie handcuffs a thing before this movie? Because I don't think I've seen them implemented before this. Nowadays, SWAT team goes into a location, they zip tie everybody up. There are shots in this movie where they linger in on the jungle. Like you're supposed to get the sense that the predator is there, but there was no effort in post-production to add anything there. There's something in those trees. No. There's nothing really there. Keep an eye on her for me. Yeah, okay. Give a little smile. This movie takes itself pretty seriously given the circumstances. I feel like so many films today play for the laugh. It's just easier to go for the laugh. Having quite a long little discussion about this. I guess it's nothing major. Smack. Man, that could hurt. Poncho down. Hawkins, you go run after. Little whistle. Point. I wonder if they had to take Arnold into some class school. They always do some range weapons stuff whenever they make any movie with firearms now. But was it the norm in '87? And I think we're about to see the first implementation of this cloak effect in film history, for that matter. I don't think anyone had tried pulling this off in this way. Also, very unusual to use orange as that which you are going to mat out. So you're going to chroma key out the orange here. I'd say a lot of this holds up pretty well. I mean, come on, you pull on the trees, you have somebody move them, and then you put that in along with the effect, and everything seems to work out. It doesn't need to be overly 3D. The camera's not whip panning around and swirling 360 degrees around the predator as he goes cloaking. He went to quick work, though. I mean, come on, these guys were not that far behind. He just casually drug the guy away and then, filleted? How can you tell so quickly it's not her blood? I can't tell. Would you call that a mustache on Arnold Schwarzenegger? It is riding a fine line. I mean, there's a bit of facial hair there, right? I think it's Hawkins. Now, Pancho there, along with Jesse Ventura, are the only guys. Well, okay, Arnold Schwarzenegger was in the military as well. But a lot of these guys don't actually have the military experience. Not as a career. Don't believe Carl Weathers or Bill Duke did. Damn sure Shane Black. Oh, we're falling apart, guys. We're losing our cool. These guys, why didn't they take his stuff? Why didn't she escape? Same damn thing happened to Jim Hopper. Oh, they want this body found, and I would guess that would mean we're going to carry the body to the extraction point. However many of us go down, I want those bodies carried along through this mess. Good luck with that. MTV shirt. I need to get me one of those. I'm assuming he cut the sleeves off himself. I wonder if MTV's website sells a retro MTV shirt. That was a hardy snake right there. I don't know my snakes too well. Python, boa constrictor. Usually you can guess one of the two that way. Cobra, pretty easy to identify. Diamondback, rattlesnake, if you're looking at certain parts of it. Man, what a mess it would have been to string somebody up in a tree. Just from a crew perspective. And I guess that it would be a dummy that they put in here, though. Looks at human enough alike. I'm not really quite sure. Yeah, probably dummy. And they shot that in a way that it kind of obscures the junk, I feel. Uh-oh, what's in the bushes over there, huh? And Is that a skunk or a porcupine? I think it's porcupine. I don't know what exactly happens to Blaine. He gets a splash of something on the shoulder, turns the other direction from which it came, then gets shot in the back with a laser. Is it possible the predator blew up the porcupine and the porcupine blood splashed on him? Now look at that. See how we rack focus to the leaf with the luminescent blood? I think that I don't know if that's entirely chemical by design, but yeah, it lights up, and I think when we get a look at it later, it looks like they did something with it in post because there's a shimmering. But yeah, this movie's really about deforestation, guys. As you can see, we are going to spend rounds into this forest. Yes. Oh man, Al Gore must have really lost it. And to think the only time you actually shot him was early, before you picked up the minigun. You really get the sense that there is a shift in the character of Mac. I think that's really cool because he, as far as growth goes, yeah, there are some dynamic characters in this movie. Mac totally loses it. He loses his cool. Dylan seeks some redemption. The lead Dutch doesn't really have anything like in the way of an arc. He's lead badass the whole time. And the movie's fine for that, really. I think they had to put a gigantic appliance in front of, or on the chest of Jesse Ventura, so much so that it seems he exploded out. Shot in the back, but... Huh? Huh? Yeah, see, look at me. Huh? Look at the expression in Arnold's eyes. How his eyes get big without it being like total buffoonery shock. No blood, no bites. We hit nothing. Yeah, there's a line for you, Pancho. I wonder if they had the same shot and they just cut it differently. Give us you're zoned out and then he calls you, huh? Okay, do it again. All right, and then they just split it between the two reactions. Yeah, you see the way how that looks like there's a keying effect to it, how there's a flicker about. And heck, she wipes some of it on her pants, and you don't even see it in the shot where she's supposedly wiping it to her pants. If you revisit Predator, do you maybe make some changes to that so that it actually does get on her pants so that it can be shown later? And here is Mac with the traps. Does Mac do the traps because MacGyver? Flares, frags, claymores. A lot of people have misconstrued the claymore as some kind of building exploding device because of Rambo 4. Oh, here we go. Bro code right here. He was a good soldier. He was, my friend. I didn't want to say secret lover, but, let's go friend. Okay, so are each of them carrying their own body bag? Put him in his poncho. We're gonna hole up here for the night. That's what we're gonna do. Man, you're clearly being hunted. Do you want to stay in one place? Not me. Let's run. Let's get out of here as fast as we can. In the words of King Arthur, run away. I'm gonna leave my best flask with you, my pal here. Yep, there we go. Goodbye, bro. Whew. Now we have the glowing effect on her pants. Remember, it's not her blood, but she is really not taking a lot of effort to wash that off. And now a predator reveal. Yeah, but it's done so in a biomechanics way. Like, look, we're cropped in tight on the thigh, the hands. The predator seems to have some kind of cursory knowledge of first aid. And they did a great job designing a lot of this because they have to make everything it uses alien. Like, we have to be confused about what it is it's doing. It doesn't have a typical numerical countdown on its LCD screen. Things to take into consideration. They did a great job with it as far as the world building aspect. For what world building you can do in a movie really isolated in the jungle, away from society, and we're not going to get a look at the backgrounds of the characters, their wives, and their kids. We don't waste time with that. This movie gets down to brass tacks. It's all bullshit. Who hit us today? Saw one of them camouflaged. And there's a weird thing about hiding what it is Anna says. That's not what she said. What she said doesn't make any sense. Okay, you want to tell us what you said now? Only do it in English? Yeah, it's kind of, from a story perspective, a little weak that now she's going to play along. Okay. Only after Arnold says, no more games. Now, oh, okay, fine, I'll talk. Go ahead, ask her. The jungle came alive and took him. Oh yeah, here's another good poncho line. Bullshit. You ain't afraid of no man. Something out there waiting for us. And it ain't no man. Oh, it's so good. Squee, as the fangirls say. We're all gonna die. Not very optimistic. The man's losing it. He's losing his cool. Killed Hopper, and now it wants us. Yeah, I think the audience has picked up on that. We might have had a few too many redundant scenes toting that. I like this scene here with Mac. He just talking it up. It's like old Vietnam story type stuff here. You ain't nobody else. Right on top, bro. Not a scratch. I can't offhand tell if this is shot day for night. There definitely are some shots where they worked a day for night angle, and I think that could be. But there'll be a shot near the end where I think the predator's jumping. It's like the sky is blue as all heck. Kind of a phony boar thrown at him. Oh, look at the blood spilling off on the psycho hatchet style knife. We even go in slow motion right there. That slow motion shot, that brief slow motion shot, is so Michael Bay. Found something bigger. Man, that boar is huge. Are you kidding me? Where's the girl? Scared? I mean, come on, what are her chances? Again, though, being unarmed, as we learned, she might have had pretty good chances. Snatched the bag, left the bag. Right from under our noses. Man, can you imagine just having to go outside to shoot a movie, which they don't do these days? Now, Kevin Peter Hull, who donned the Predator costume for both this and Predator 2, and died shortly thereafter, I think complications of AIDS, HIV. He had to be in a suit, not an air-conditioned mascot suit of current day Disney World. I mean, just brutally hot in the jungle, covered in stuff, in the latex. You don't breathe through that. And what they do is the mask would pull off, and it didn't have the Predator head behind it; it would just have his head exposed. And here's where it's like, no games. Okay, fine. I'll tell you in English. Change colors like the chameleon. It uses the jungle. By a lizard. And there's 2-3 of them max. That's all it is. All right. It's hunting us. All of us. That includes you. Man, could maybe call to be a little bit more gentle with that machete approach. I think they shined a light here on Arnold's face for this shot. You could see he almost has a spotlight on him. He must have wounded. Its blood was on the leaves. Here we go. Quotable line. If it bleeds, we can kill it. There's a little musical thing. A guy did some Arnold Schwarzenegger musical. I think it's called the Arnold Follies on YouTube. Check it out. Hilarious. It goes, if it bleeds, we can kill it. And then they have, like, it's Predator the musical. It's largely this scene here. Something's out there waiting for us. If it bleeds, we can kill it. Da, 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 da. We'll chop down the trees. And man, we're going to spend the day setting traps out here. This is man versus nature versus alien nature. There isn't another movie that pulls this angle of playing it up in the wild like this. And I think this movie scores very high on the dad movie category because there's no romance about it. The less women, the more dad movie it is. And I'll tell you this. If Predator is on TV, I'm sifting through the channels. It's been a long time since I've channel surfed. Just the nature of TV these days, right? I've channel surfed. Predator's on. Well, it looks like I'm watching Predator now. There's not a lot of movies that have that kind of power. Honestly, Tron Legacy and Fast and Furious Tokyo Drift seem to do that for me also. If those are on TV, inevitably I'll end up just watching those. Screw the rest of my plans. Okay. We got traps all over the place. Let's just lie in wait. And if nothing shows up, what do? Does one of us have to go out there and set off the traps? Tripwires every tree for 50 yards. The only way in. Mac has a lot of things, and one of them is shaving when you don't really need to be doing that. How did they do this effect here? Actually cutting himself with the razor? Alright, watch the rack focus here. Anna's telling her story. She's in focus. The old women in the village crossed themselves and whispered crazy things. Said strange things. Oh, we already heard crazy and strange, huh? Only in the hottest years this happens. Predator's really into heat, huh? I think in Predator 2 they mentioned that it was particularly hot in Los Angeles, and it seemed to drive the Predator towards there. You find them much, much worse, really? The demon who makes trophies of man. And there we go, rack focused Arnold. Like, huh. You see that rack focus in Die Hard. And in Die Hard with a Vengeance. And it's something that John McTiernan works into stuff. Trying to recall if I saw that in Nomads, an earlier film of his. I think this might have only been his second film directing. It would be nice to see him get back, get some redemption. If we are to have an Expendables 4, please make it directed by an auteur of the action genre. John McTiernan or John Woo. Make it a John. Whoop. Almost blew it. Oh, that shot right there, that's Arnold Schwarzenegger on the cover of Contra. It's been brought up a few times now, but you look at the character designs for Contra, and you're thinking, okay, it's Rambo because one of them, dark hair, has the bandana, and then one of them it doesn't. Okay, has the spiked haircut, right? In actuality, the bodies are Arnold and Predator, just two different shots. Whoop. Check out that screech from the Predator. I don't think you ever hear the Predator yell like that ever again. It's been retconned out of the Predator mythos. Oh boy, that would hurt. Would the tree hitting you kill you? Come on, Mythbusters. We need to revisit that. Did he just turn off his cloaking shield, his invisible, his active camo, just to taunt them like, hey, I'm over here. Ramirez on his feet. I thought his name was Poncho. I'm going to give you another gun. Dylan's going off to do his redemption. You're just holding that damn chopper. Like, yeah, I'll be there. I can make it. Get the radio, forget the rest. What other stuff did they have? What other kit did they have? And here we go. I originally had some confusion over what it was that Mac was talking about here. He's singing the song that was in the chopper. She got everything. Uncle Johnny. Oh, baby. Gonna have me some fun now. I'm gonna have me some fun now. Yes. Yes, we are. One could say this is along with Rambo and First Blood, kind of an early look at the post-traumatic stress. You know, Bill Duke's character there, he's putting it on pretty well. Yeah, nothing says climbing in the jungle easily like holding two guns. Over here. Huh? Where are you? What? A jump scare moment. Out there. Well, why can't you take your shot now? Like, how far past the trees is this thing? Like, totally out of range? Yeah, maybe. Look at that pose the Predator's putting on there. Kind of like on the knees yoga thing. What is this? A prone cobra? Oh, yeah, we're going to get him. Got a score to settle. We both got scores to settle. Yeah, I don't understand the total logistics of their score settling mythology here. I worked my way close, or you work your way close to him. I'm going to do something here, and then you take the shot. What? Okay. Yeah, we're creeping along. Imagine being the crew to this movie. Okay, we have a mock-up of Bill Duke's head that's gonna have to explode. We need to bring that in. Do we have any place to even park trucks? What about the honey wagon? And here we go. Okay. That's a good enough effect. It gets edited out on the TV edit. Oh, yes, it does. And with that explosion that came out, you'd think he wouldn't have much of a face there, honestly. But we'll see it later, which I don't know if that makes a whole lot of sense to me. Don't leave it. didn't kill you because you weren't armed. Okay, with this in mind, we can all drop our weapons and be perfectly fine. Oh, I should have looked up all the guns used in this movie. I should have. I think the minigun is made by General Electric. Goes on helicopters. Had to kind of modify it up for something here. And that may actually be the same gun, the same prop used in Terminator 2. Look at this. Yeah, I mean, his head didn't seem to explode all that much from that shot. You can see as it gets in on Carl Weathers, all intense, like the camera picks up a canted angle look. Oh no, my bit rate's gone kind of bad here, guys. I hope this recovers. It's a little low resolution on me. Hope my internet didn't go down. Luckily, I've seen this movie so many times I don't really need to see it in high definition. Oh, pull that gun up. Yeah, oh, but his laser is faster, is it? He got some shots off. He should have hit something. And I'll tell you, I watched a lot of this recently. How they pull off removing an arm from Carl Weathers, I have not really figured out. Look at this shot here. That looks really convincing. Man, Carl Weathers puts off a good scream. Look at that awesome tree we can cross. Oh, but Billy, he's like, I've had enough of this. Remember, it didn't kill you because you weren't armed. So did he need the giant knife? Is this Billy's theme playing here? The right? You could look at it that way. Oh man, I would like to have seen the showdown here between the Predator and Billy. See what this could have looked like, right? I think one of the interesting things going in this movie is we have that little cover story. It seems kind of lame to have the action movie in the jungle. Just we don't really care about the stakes. We didn't see anybody get captured. We don't care about their well-being so much. But we have the crew going in. And the Predator goes and interrupts that action movie. The Predator has a way of kind of stepping on other genres. Like, okay, we have a cop crime city gang war movie interrupted by the Predator in Predator 2, right? Well, I feel like that opening salvo of action that we got, so early, they're going in on the compound shooting up all the Central Americans, right? Or whatever. Get to the chopper. Yes, iconic. I'll tell you, I dug that line before the internet. Also, I really like the way he kicked that gun out of her hand. It was so cool. Okay, so what I'm saying is that there was an effort to show, not just tell how badass his team was. It's not like they read some dossier. Well, who's this? That's Mac, demolitions expert, also likes to shave. There wasn't anybody talking it. They took down a compound of dudes with near a scratch. And then the Predator is just able to whoop them. So it's a good demonstration of force. It shows their competency. And it's like, wow, these guys are really badass. And they're getting taken out by the Predator? I don't care if that's not Arnold or if it's a little bit fuzzy. That's somebody actually doing a fall into water. Nowadays, there's going to be like in The Island with your boy DiCaprio. We're going to get a close-in look on his face falling with the green screen and stuff. Swim, Arnold. Man, those boots he's got on are going to be heavy and hard to swim in. Yeah, this looks like a nice peaceful place to visit, when the predator's not in season. Climbing up into the mud, and yeah, what could go wrong now? I think I made my getaway. Just tired, just beat from all that exhaustion, and then boom. It says explosion in the subtitles. I always try to watch these with the subtitles on when I do the commentaries, because I don't keep the volume up too loud. Don't really want that getting picked up, by the Content ID tool of YouTube. You see these kind of like spikes bubbling up. I guess that's the dreads. Can we confirm that as we think of those as the Predator's dreadlocks, is that actually Predator hair? And does it have to be braided to do that? And now, what was Arnold, or rather Dutch's instincts here? Like, okay, I'm just going to go hide in the tree. Like, screw it. I'm going to happen to be coated in some mud because I drug myself along in the mud. And then get in the tree. It's coincidental, but it works out well. I wouldn't even quite call it a plot convenience. He seems to be thinking that he can hide from him in some way. Oh, what's a spot? Overkill. Probably for a rat. Oh, you didn't even hit it. Such a cool creature design. There's netting, the dreads, the mask, the shoulder cannon. So many things you didn't really see before this. Of course, the story goes, this is designed by Stan Winston, who previously designed the Predator, made the Queen Alien in Aliens, though I think who gets credit for that is actually James Cameron. At any rate, he's on the plane with James Cameron, and he's got to make a creature for this movie, Predator, and James Cameron says, I always wanted to see something with mandibles, and then that's how you get the Predator's iconic look. Predator is one ugly mofo, actually, and I think looks cool with the helmet / mask on. It's really a mask. And then ugly is all sin with it off. But there's so little telling you that that's a person behind anything. It looks really good. All right, we're going to get to my crafting over here. We got to have another showdown, do we? So you think she made it to the chopper and was just like, hey, look, I know I'm not part of the team, but there was a circumstance like beyond my control, and I can give you some information. I mean, look, it took all day to set this stuff up with everybody, and now it's just Arnold. It's work just getting the vine rope to work for you when you're doing the stuff. All right, and we have a little bit of a composite shot there. We've thrown Billy down and we're pulling the spinal cord out, whipping it around and throwing the body down. And instead of putting it in the tree, come on, you're supposed to hang the stuff up. He's even got his kit with him to make the trophies. Polish down those the skulls. And then I like the editing between these, the preparation cut to between them. I did go as Arnold Schwarzenegger in The Predator for Halloween once, and no, actually, I went as Arnold in Commando. But I think people were saying, was it Predator also? It very well could have been, honestly. Then, like the next year, I used most of the same outfit, painted my face in a way that I was Metal Gear Solid 3 zombie face painted Snake, and boy did it look pretty sweet. I got a headshot on this one. What are these other little skulls he's got there? He's got like maybe a gar around the belt, kind of. He's hunting the most dangerous game, Austrian. All right, so I know the mud works. I want to make sure I have fresh coating of mud on me. Probably want to fill it in a little more than that in all actuality. Just go for a good wallow around in the mud. Yep, now he's really got it caked on. Yeah, okay, so we did some keying work there. Oh, we're gonna let out a good primal yell here, Arnold. Oh yeah. Now look at the way how this tree fort is almost presented itself. I hear a yell and I'm gonna go investigate. Heating up my does that not make it in the TV edit? Edited for time, maybe? The Predator heating up its claws. I do believe. I know that they play with the claw length. They made them longer in Aliens vs. Predator, and it looked goofy as heck. But there's also some attention brought to them in this one. There's a part where he pulls them out, and then there's like a in-post shine applied to it, like a refraction from the light. Yeah, all of this we're seeing here was shot well after everybody else has went home. The movie was in a bit of a limbo, and they brought this in, embellished on this bit, and they really winged a lot of this movie for it to have come out as good as it did. It's kind of miraculous. Faint wickering? Is that the caption? Look at that daytime shot we got of the Predator falling down, even though it's night as all night. Oh, we're gonna get in with the rack focus here. Well, look, not really, but playing with the foreground and the background, I suppose. But is he crawling over Arnold or like just behind him? I mean, come on now. He relies a lot on this heat vision, but maybe the movement could also be a problem. Crawling around like a lizard, though. Now, if you look at the way the Predator's outline is here, it is a lot different than without the camo. Just that silhouette, the hair is not present. I don't entirely like the way it looks in the shot. Look at that really like half-hearted arrow shot. Like that arrow just falls limp. It's so loaded up with what explosive, what packed. Glorious shots into the trees, awesome pyro everywhere. Oh yeah, this looks sweet. They can't even be bothered to do this in modern movies. Definitely not bothered to do it. It's a shame. We put more money in stuff only to make things look cheaper. Oh, he's got a bead on him. Oh, that fall must have really hurt. You're bleeding it, coughing up some blood now. Uh-oh. I seem to have blown my camouflage. I see, he's kind of picking up on the movement some. Man, and just Kevin Peter Hall running around with those giant foot shoes, like massive lack of visibility. And being a real trooper to put up with a full body foam latex costume in the jungle. Oh, that is not an easy position to hold right there, Dutch. Got some more tools here. If you load a powder up in a stick, I think there's a name for it, like a shock stick or something. Man, it's on the tip of my tongue. This happens every commentary. Something will come up and I can't quite remember what it is. Let's get him to shoot at the movement. There we go. And in doing so, maybe I can figure out where he is. Look at the way that tracker just kind of comes in, zeroes in on location. You have to try to think outside of how humans would perceive that should be. Oh, you got a hit on him, huh? Follow the blood. Bleed, bastard. Everybody talks up so many lines in this movie, but it's really I think it's the last lines from Arnold in the movie are my favorite. Yeah, I don't think he says anything after that, but we'll get there soon. Roger Ebert says that the movies you like, good movies are always too short, bad movies are always too long. This movie's always too short. It's crisp, but I feel like I just want more Predator. Maybe part of the art of it is leaving you wanting more, and that makes it good. Nowadays, everything has to be bloated up to 2 hours something, maybe 3 hours or some crap, so you feel like you got your money's worth because the tickets are so outlandish. Oh no, he's going to see you. Shot fired, and whoop. Now suppose he didn't break that branch with his shot from the shoulder cannon. Where would you have gone, Dutch? Cool shot coming up here. The claws go around Arnold's head, and it's played in reverse. You'll see it looks a little wonky. Nah, I'm gonna do this slow. I want to really have a look at my prey. Word is from Arnold Schwarzenegger, Kevin Peter Hall actually could pick him up with one arm and throw him against the tree. This was a strong dude. Also played Harry in the Hendersons. And there was a movie, I think, is it called something like Without Warning or something? Man, it was before this. It was like early 80s, like 80, 81, where he played a creature hunting people also. As Predator, you gotta listen carefully here. There's a sound of a baby waking up, like a cooing sound, like a eh. I think it's when the mask starts to come off. All right, I'm listening for this. It might have been a little sooner, right when the first plug was coming out. But yeah, there was something mixed in there, and it sounds like a baby being kind of woken up. You can't much see the person behind that. I think as the predator is dying, you can see a bit of human skin around the eyes. So when it's been beaten up some. But other than that, it just kind of makes you wonder more about how they were able to pull this off. You just made him mad. Now, yes, right around the eyes is clearly African American, and I think he had his eyes shut there. And okay, if you needed to, right, you could do some of that stuff CGI now to totally erase the human element. Slapping around. A lot of this feels like it's being played at different frame rates. Man, with that vision, you wonder how the Predators were ever able to accomplish anything. How do you build computers and spaceships when all you can do is just see like heat signatures? I mean, you can't look at a computer screen and program based on some code you're reading, right? Oh, heading to the trap. Now look, I complain a lot about knives making sounds, but those claws come shooting out. It makes sense to me. I gotcha. My favorite. Come on, do it. Do it. Kill me, I'm here. Do it now. Come on, do it. Kill me, I'm here. He's like, sharp thing right here. I don't think so. I'm going to walk around. But it works out because we got that shot of the counterweight. Remember we had to hoist it up? Ha, I'm going to jump over here. Yeah. Now this rope, there's this rope you'll see here. Look at the joy in Arnold's face. The rope comes flying up, and it's kind of a post effect. It looks like it's keyed in afterwards, like it wasn't in the shot. It might have flew up so quick that you couldn't get a good look at it, so they had to do it a different way. Look at that lens flare. Glorious lens flare of relief. I mean, you didn't want to come check and see if you actually got him. I mean, okay, you smashed him pretty good, but you don't want to just take a nap on that, do you? I mean, this is the 80s, man. You got to know your killers. Yeah, I mean, you hurt him pretty bad there. Oh, man, in high definition, you can really see the human skin in the eyes. They should have painted Kevin's eyes up better, joined that, I think. What are you? What the hell are you? Just repeating back to him. This is pretty cool. Can anyone read Predator? I mean, Arnold sees that there appears to be a countdown. These lights are going away. And it's like, I guess I'm running out of these. Mimicking Billy's laugh. In the parentheses, I'm glad that it put that instead of just saying laugh. Book it, Dutch. Oh, this looks so cool too. Lightning looked really cool in the 80s. Another Arnold movie with a lightning effect there. Sweet explosion. What these guys were doing up in the chopper, I couldn't tell you. Hell, she's in there. They should be home by now. There's Kevin Peter Hall. He's playing sort of a chopper pilot. All right, now this next shot out here. You see the plume up in the air. That's recycled in 1996's Resident Evil, the video game. The first game in that franchise had live action scenes, and I thought that was pretty cool. Though I recognized where that shot came from. That was at the end after you shoot what was it? Wesker? I think you shoot Wesker with the rocket, and then you see that happen. Yeah. Just covered in ash, like someone out of Quest for Fire. Again, with the deforestation. I think that's miniature. You don't see any movement. You see this helicopter coming down. That would have been a lot of stuff to clear. Even this solemn song is pretty badass. If that's miniature, it's amazing. I can't honestly tell. Well, he got his revenge. Might have some radiation poisoning. And now it's back. Dun 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 dun. Dun 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 dun. Some people think it's a little too goofy or odd how we have this like Family Matters style closing credits. And it's like, everywhere you look, everywhere there's a heart, a hand, a hold. Everybody's like doing a goof thing. Like, hey, you guys had some fun on set, right? Just kind of do something, all right? And then I think Arnold would get a freeze frame on, if I'm not mistaken. And there's the freeze frame. That was, isn't that a shot during the movie? And the rest of them, it's kind of like, hey, can we have you do something in front of the camera, right? So there you go. Kevin Peter Hall is the Predator. That's Predator, guys. One of my favorites. I'm pretty sure you probably like this movie too. If you don't, comment below. If you do like it, comment. If I missed something critical that needed to be stated, or you know something else you want to put, comments, subscribe, ring the bell, okay? Because really, I feel like I'm making these videos for myself at this point. Till next time, adios.